ugly sweep at the hand of the New York Mets. The New York Mets trounced the Yankees last night. It was ugly. It was brutal. It was the exact kind of game that you just can't have. So, look, I know how hard it is to kind of have these conversations, and I'm just putting the link out. And I understand, look, I get it. The Yankees are kind of in a weird spot. They haven't been playing great. But I still think that, you can get things turned around at the deadline. And I also think, and more importantly, the AL is open. The AL is very open. So, we're going to talk about kind of whether it's time to panic, let you guys vent a little bit, give me your thoughts. And yeah. Let's get started with CT Cards, our first comment of the day. Word up. Look forward to the video. What's up, CT Cards? Hope you're having a good night. The MLB channel says hello. Yankees have been so bad. They've been awful. Michael S. Dunitz. He's coming in hot, and I hope I pronounced your name right, Michael. Trade the whole team except Judge. Sell the team to somebody who wants to bring back the old Yankee fervor. Fire Boone and Cashman. So I don't think they're trading Juan Soto. I don't think that would be a wise move to make. I don't think you trade for the best left-handed hitter in baseball this year to then trade him away, especially when you are in a playoff spot. So, I understand the frustration. I get the frustration. I'm just as frustrated, if not more, than everybody, watching his team right now. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the right thought process is to punt on the season before it concludes. I think the Yankees should be judged on October, and that's where I'm going to judge this team the most. And if they're able to get it done in October, I think we can all let bygones be bygones regarding this team. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in that regard that they should be allowed to fail. That's kind of the mantra I've been going with. They should be allowed to fail in the postseason before I call this season kind of a disaster. So, yeah. I'm starting to get the feeling the Yankees are going to go to the trade deadline without picking anybody important or can help this team. Well, there's no reason why the place they have now play as good as the players they have now play as good as what they're getting paid for. These guys get paid big bucks. Only 2 of them, maybe 3 of them are worth the money. So I think something, obviously this is a frustrated comment. This is a comment of somebody who is frustrated, who's not happy with what's going on with the team, which I completely understand. But I also think it's important to know, there is something that I think you can take away from this that is true. That isn't just like a guy who's upset about the team. The Yankees have not necessarily spent great money. I think if you look at their payroll table, you have a lot of contracts that will depreciate pretty quickly in terms of value. And so, let's kind of run through their payroll situation right now. A really weird payroll situation. They have obviously Rodon making a lot of money. I wouldn't consider Rodon a positive value in terms of what you're netting. You're not getting your return on investment in Carlos Rodon. I would say that Stroman from an ERA basis, yes, he has returned on investment at roughly $18 million. Rizzo has not returned on investment during his 2-year contract. Stanton hasn't necessarily returned his $32 million. Well, it's more like $22 million, but he's probably not going to return that kind of value. Cole won't return the value this year, but he's been a great contract, so I'm not going to harp on that. LeMahieu will most certainly not. Canley at $5.7 million. I'm good with that. That's fine with me. John Birdie makes $3.25. Fine with me. JD Davis, the Yankees, I don't really have to pay him, I think. So I don't really think that $2.5 million is on them. Weaver at $2 million. That's a great contract. But when we're looking at the big numbers here, we're talking about $27 million in Rodon, $22 million in Stanton. I'm going to exclude him from that group. $17 million in Rizzo, $50 million in LeMahieu. That's money that's not good. That's bad money for this team. And in the case of Rodon, in the case of LeMahieu, both those players extend into the 2024 and 2025 seasons. In Stanton's case, you will only imagine that his value will depreciate as the years go on. So that contract may not age well. Stroman, I'm not sure the contract ages well. So, we're just in a really bad spot. We're just in a bad spot financially in terms of just having so much dead money on the payroll. But I do hope the Yankees can figure out a way to turn it around because, again, they have they have the talent, I think, to find it. I'm not going to give you the whole Boone. They're turning it around. They're turning the corner, or they had some good at bats or whatever it may be. But they need to find a way, and they need to find a way for the talent to reflect. They need to find a way for the talent to reflect the the play on the field. Is it the same thing? It is the same thing every year, but after year. But until Cashman and Lackey Boone are gone, nothing will change. Old and retired. I mean, I hope things change or things improve beforehand. I do. I hope things improve without needing people to get fired. I hope it just happens in season. The Yankees click and they start winning a bunch of games and they won't go on to win the World Series. That's what I want. That's the only thing I want. I think that's what all of us want. But I do understand your frustration. I get it. So I'm not trying to downplay that or anything. I agree this team will continue if Cash and Boone remain. Sorry, but that's how I feel. So, look, I think, again, can they win the World Series this year? I think they can. I think, when you're looking at where they're at offensively, they're struggling, but they have pieces and they can get better to deadline. And, there are ways to get this team to where they need to go. The AL is wide open. We'll see how that goes. Some folks say don't blame Boone, and others say don't blame Cashman, blame Hal, blame all these, but Hal ain't going anywhere, so Cash and Boone. I don't trust Boone. He doesn't have a feel for the game. I think Boone's a fine in-game decision maker. I do obviously get frustrated hearing some of the post-game comments, but I think it's important to note his job is not to make me feel good. His job is to deliver wins. And, he's got to play with he's got to play with what he has on his roster. And I think that you can reasonably argue he's been dealt an unfair hand of cards. Now, is Aaron Boone completely complacent? Is Aaron Boone completely innocent in everything? Let's be real. You always have to fault, everyone, leadership gets faulted, and rightfully so, when things go south. So I'm not going to absolve him, but I will say I do think that I think that Boone, between Hal, Cashman, and Boone, I'm going to blame Boone the least because he's the least to do with affecting who the roster is, the payroll, the financial allocations, all that stuff. Hey, Trevor. Yep, it's Ryan. It's me. What's up? Hope you're having a good night. Fesq, this team hurts my soul. Dude, this team is fucking killing me. I can't take it sometimes. Obviously I do all the clippings, so I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I can't. El Chain goes, yo, can you start the trade for Kevin Pillar movement so we can hit a lefty? I could get behind trading for Pillar. The only concern I have with Pillar is that I don't know if he's a depreciating player. That meaning, is he a player who's only going to get worse as the season goes on? There's some teams that could buy and sell. The Diamondbacks could be one of them. Could Randall Grichuk be somebody that they move? I think that, maybe they can, entertain a trade for him. Grichuk, I'm pulling up his numbers now. He's had a strong season. He has a 117 WRC plus. He's barreled the crap out of the baseball. He hits the ball hard. He drives the ball in the air. He's aggressive in zone. He hits for some decent power. The only problem is he is a mediocre defensive outfielder. Actually, he's been a little bit better this year, but can't play center field, which is fine. You have Grisham. You'd have to move Verdugo, which, again, that's fine for me. But I think at some point you're just going to have Dominguez back, and I think that that'll make up for a lot of your issues, but we'll see. Brandon Lowe, homered again, please, Yankees. Look, I would love Brandon Lowe. I wonder if the Yankees prioritize getting a third baseman because of the way Gleyber's played. I'm not, a Gleyber apologist in the sense that I'm not going to sit here and tell you Gleyber's had such a strong year that the Yankees have to do whatever it takes to keep him. I'm just sitting here and saying that, the Yankees might look at him as they might think that it's better to start him and have a great third baseman like an Isaac Paredes than to start John Birdie in the postseason. Now, do I agree? I think to an extent. Would I rather have Brandon Lowe than Gleyber Torres? Absolutely. Brandon Lowe's an unbelievable player. He's a game changer. He's a difference maker. It's just a question of whether the Yankees can acquire him or not, whether the Yankees, find a better option or a better fit or not. But I would agree, he's an unbelievable hitter and he would be perfect for the middle of this lineup. He's a 145 WRC plus in the season. And yeah, I think everyone in this chat would be like, yes, Brandon Lowe. I'm pronouncing his name two different ways, by the way, just changing it up every fucking time. But I think everyone in this chat would be like, hell yeah, hell yeah. I saw Talking Yanks off last night, and I told Talking Yanks off last night, and they saw it. Glad they saw it because that tweet they made is really dumb. Yeah, I mean, look, the tweet. I'm not gonna bash them for the tweet. It's funny. It's a funny tweet. It's funny because we're losing. Like it's ironic. But I will say this. I don't think they ruined the Yankees. I'm not gonna blame. I think we all understand. Like, they didn't ruin the Yankees. The Yankees just haven't been playing well. But I respect what they do. I respect the content they make. I appreciate you thinking we're better than them. I love thinking I'm really good at what I do. But I will say this, they're great at what they do. They're great at what they do. They make great content. There's a reason they have so many followers. So I'm not going to sit here and give them a bunch of shit for that. I'm not going to give them a bunch of shit. I'm not. So, yeah. Facts. Yeah. Look, we'll see. Did you move? Why is it set up different? I just altered the camera, just literally just shifted a little bit this way. So like towards my wall a little more. Do you think Holmes can close for this team in the playoffs? Clay Holmes is such a conundrum because, the underlying metrics and the ERA are really strong. Like, I would sit here and tell you the ERA and the numbers, like, they're not bad. I've seen so much worse. Like, I've seen significantly worse. I think it's fixable. I can't commit either way. I can't give you a committal answer. Or maybe that's bad. Maybe that means that, he's not good enough. Maybe that's exactly what that means. Maybe that means he's not good enough for the closer role. But I mean, the problem is just that, like, the defense, I don't know if I can trust it all the time. And it's weird because they're a really good defensive team. It just hasn't been like that lately. But we'll see. We'll see with them. I think Holmes is good. I don't know how confident I feel in terms of him closing, just because, recent memory, all that stuff. Will the Rays trade Paredes, or do they think they're too close in the playoff spot to sell? I think they'll move Brandon Lowe because he makes money. Will they move Isaac Paredes? I mean, Ken Rosenthal said that that's a guy who's on the market. I don't know if that results in him getting traded. I don't know if that results in him, whatever, but I think he's going to end up, I think he'll end up doing something. Like, I think he'll end up, I think they'll end up doing something. I think Lau gets moved. And, if Lau, is that somebody that I would target? Yes. Is Brady somebody I would target? Yes. Like, I would go after all those guys. So, yeah. Do you think Jonathan India is on the table in general? I feel like he could be a guy who's just on the table to see if somebody will massively overpay for him. Yeah, I mean, look, I would rather have Brandon Lowe than Jonathan India. That's where I'm at. Who would you trade Glaber to, and for who? Seattle, and for a reliever. So, yeah. Remember Hicks and Donaldson almost owed $50 million a season? Yeah, it sucks. It's awful. Yeah, it's a shit show. That's the best way to put it, right? Like, it's a shit show. It needs to get better. It needs to get better. It does. It absolutely needs to get better. So, yeah. Yankees lineup has some holes in it. We saw what the Mets lineup can do. Trade for a contact back hit for a good average. I want some pop. I think they need some pop. They need guys who can drive the baseball. They need dudes who can crush. That's where I'm at with them. They need dudes who can crush. And Brandon Lau, they need Brandon Lau. That's the kind of guy they need. I don't think he's the only player they should go after. Like, I'm not saying that they can't. Like, I put out a deadline plan. I did not include Brandon Lau in the deadline plan. Not because I don't want him, but, just kind of thinking about where they're weakest, where they're strongest. I identify third base as a bigger weakness. Now, is Ben Rice potentially a better first baseman than, Glaber is a second baseman? Maybe. I don't know, if that's going to happen this year or next year. I think it's possible to be this year. He's good. I like Ben Rice a lot. But I do want, I'm pretty open to, like, I understand the Yankees can't put together a perfect team. They're going to put together a team this deadline that doesn't end up being, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't end up being, like, they're going to have a flawed player somewhere. They're going to have a player who isn't great somewhere. And it's either going to be first base or second base. It can't be third base because LeMahieu fucking stinks. I'll take a cheese pizza for Torres. I think he has legitimate trade value. Like, the Yankees would have to eat some money probably. But, like, the Yankees got rid of Joey Gallo's contract. Not Joey Gallo's contract. They got rid of Joey Gallo, and they got Clay and Beater out of it. I mean, Joey Gallo was unequivocally terrible. Like, Glaber, like, has actually gotten better as the season's gone on, and he's like a 94 WRC plus hitter. There is a team that will take a 94 WRC plus second baseman. And you got something for Joey Gallo. So I think you can get something for Gleyber Torres. Oscar Cardenas goes, I love India, but I think second base production has been bad at first base and third base. I'd much rather make a trade for those positions. So I agree to an extent. I think it's either first base or second base that you leave alone. It depends on what you think of Ben Rice and what you think of Gleyber Torres. So, yeah. Can we trade for Nathan Eovaldi? I think Ken Rosenthal said that Eovaldi is going to be off the board, that the Rangers are probably going to buy. And that makes sense. The Rangers have climbed to just one game below 500. And the Mariners and the Astros have been, God, they've been really bad. They've been something. Let me pull up the standings for you guys right now. The Rangers are just 2.5 out of the division. They're 1 game worse than Seattle in the loss column. They're 3 games worse than the Houston in the loss column. They're not selling. They're not selling. They're right in the playoff mix. They're right there with everybody else in that division. Sorry for my ESPN notification. It was about Malik Neighbors, if you're a Giants fan, which, God help us all. But yeah, are you surprised there hasn't been real trades thus far? No, because it's like the Rangers went from, oh, they suck, they should sell, to, oh, wow, they're right back in it. So, they're a team that had one really good week. Like Pittsburgh had a really good week. They're back in the playoff mix. The Mets had an awesome week. They're firmly in the playoff mix. They are battling Atlanta now for second place. Like if they beat Atlanta up in this weekend, they will be in second place in the AL East. The NL East. As for the Cubs, they've kind of fallen out of it for good. The Giants have really buried themselves. They are really falling out of the playoff race. Kansas City, Minnesota, they've firmly established they're obviously going to contend. The Red Sox, they've had a weird week, but I think they're firmly going to contend. Are the Rays going to contend? Because the Rays, they're above 500. There is a lot of weirdness, I think, going on in the AL, and I think that there are teams that are trying to figure out whether they're actually good or not. And that's a long way of saying I don't know who's going to sell, and I think teams are still trying to figure that part out. We need Stan back. We do, but he's probably not coming back this weekend. I don't want Towner, Noodle, Horner either. What about you? So Nico Horner, if we're talking about a team that's just needing a second baseman, they had a great offense, they just need defense. Yes, would love Horner, but that's not this team. This team needs bats. This team does not need Nico Horner. Doesn't hit the ball hard enough. Isn't a good enough hitter. He's a good player, but he's not a great hitter. He's pretty league average. Pretty good on him. Tyone, it's just, you kind of know the regression's coming, right? The ERA is not good enough. The ERA is not good enough. The ERA is good, but the underlying metrics aren't good enough. He doesn't miss enough bats, and you also have to pay him for the next few seasons. So if you're the Cubs, I think the Cubs would relish at the opportunity to trade him and get value for him. Whereas I think the Yankees shouldn't be in a position to, they shouldn't be trying to get that value. We need Stan back. I agree. How about Hicks and Donaldson's value? Yeah, I mean, I forgot we're paying Hicks. Yeah, he's it's not good. Sounds like the Orioles now it's work. Not really, but I'd be happy. I don't think he's a difference maker, so I'd be happy if that was their big starting pitching addition. I'm hoping Jazz and Scott for the Marlins. Jazz, I'd be happy with Jazz. I don't know if the thing with Jazz is he can only play second. He's not there, and he's not necessarily I'd rather have Brandon Lau at that point. And Tanner Scott's good. Tanner Scott's really good. We'll see if he's somebody that the Yankees are able to acquire. Rodon is neutral, I think. His arm talent's very real. Look, he's talented. He's not making $26 million. I don't pay for talent. Pay for a bona fide stud, Rodon equals Kevin Brown 2.0. I wasn't around for Kevin Brown, but I know he wasn't very good. So, yeah. Let's see. Jazz and Tanner Scott is the way. They're good players. They make you better. I think they're a better second baseman. Thoughts on Crochet wanting contract or he won't pitch in the playoffs? I love this for Crochet. He should be doing this. Think of it like this, guys. The same teams that are going to push him to make a playoff start is also going to use his injury history to say they shouldn't pay him in arbitration. He should say, if you're going to push me to pitch and I risk getting hurt and forego millions on millions of dollars, generational wealth, you better pay me. If a team gives him $100 million for the next 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever you want to say, if he pitches in the playoffs and get hurt, guess what? He's still a $100 million man. He is set for life. And I think that's what Crochet should be doing. He should be demanding, I get paid if I'm I better get my money secured if you're going to push me. They need a third baseman. Agree, Francisco. Yes, they do. They need it. Yeah, they do. We're sharing a brain with this mess. Please leave a like, folks. Please do. Ryan, don't be downplaying my madness. I'm not downplaying. Don't worry about it. If Race threw in reliever, rank Clevenger, Adam, and Fairbanks. I think so we're gonna have to. Clevenger, haven't checked his stats lately. I know he was kind of hovering around the league average before. Here's my issue with Clevenger. Walks a lot of guys, gives up a lot of barrels. You know, that's a little concerning. The quality of contact isn't great against him. I fear like a regression away from Tampa Bay, but he's a lefty and he's a pretty effective lefty. So kind of hard to hate on bringing him in. We're kind of getting picky there. Jason Adam, noted kind of asshole. He's not a great dude, but his numbers are great. He is an excellent reliever. Again, concerns with quality of contact, and the walks can be a little much, but he misses bats and he prevents runs, and his stuff is wicked good. So hard to say he also wouldn't be a worthwhile upgrade. He would be an awesome upgrade. Pete Fairbanks, I think I'm firmly against Pete Fairbanks. Weird dude in a good way. So he's kind of checking off my weird dude box for a good reliever, but he's not missing a lot of bats. The strikeout rate's way down this year. The stuff plus is way down this year. He has an issue with his nerves where he can't pitch in cold weather. That scares me in the Bronx in October. So I'm good on Pete Fairbanks. I think Jason Adam would be the pitcher I pick from that group. What's up, Ryan? Says Christopher Cancel, Mets fan here. All I can say is I feel sorry for you guys. I hope you really guys do well against Boston. You really need it. We desperately do need it. And I hope you guys beat up on Atlanta because it'd be fucking funny. I hate Atlanta. 88 Finnish teams win the World Series all the time. Winnish teams win the World Series all the time lately. Yeah, kind of like those good, not great teams have been winning the World Series or getting to the pennant for a while. Now, the 2022 Astros were a dominant team, and they won the World Series. The 2020 Dodgers were a dominant team, and they won the World Series. The 2018 Red Sox were a dominant team. They won the World Series. 2017 Astros were a dominant team. They won the World Series. 2016 Cubs, dominant team, won the World Series. So dominant teams also win a lot. So I don't want to downplay what being great means for a playoff run. You think Stanton and Dominguez can fill the 4 and 5 spot when healthy? I think Dominguez should be more of a 6 hitter on this team when he comes back. I don't think it's fair to put the pressure on him to immediately clean up on a championship caliber team. I'm sorry, but do I feel like Boone could be a good manager, but he's bad at coming up with a plan or ideas to get his team back on the tracks? Yeah, I agree. There's something with Boone that it just doesn't get going. Once the team struggles, they really struggle. It's bad for a while, and that's concerning. But like that's 2018. Yeah, when they struggle, they struggle, man. It's bad. Hey, Christopher and damn Mets fans, I see in that NF East chat. Hey, man, I mean, the Mets kicked the shit out of us. There's only so much he can do, but still. Yeah, no, I mean, it keeps happening, and he is the manager, so it reflects on him very poorly. Yankee fans are often overreacting about our record. The best team in the regular season rarely wins it all. Being good in the postseason is different than being good in the regular season. I agree, but they also should not look like ass for 40 games. Like, this is rough. They look like horse shit. So yeah, like it looks bad. So, that's kind of where I'm at. How do we ensure Wells stays starting when Trevi comes back? He has a 111 WRC plus. So if he keeps hitting, he's going to keep starting. Biggest problem with the roster is what they get from their homegrown hitters. I mean, Judge is pretty fucking good. Volpe hasn't been Volpe's disappointed because of the hot start. Wells rocks. Wells is dope. I love Wells. Rice, I think the at-bats are good. He just needs to kind of, get them to fall. And for lack of better words, like it's just not falling for him. And that sucks because I think he's good. But we'll see how he can progress, moving forward. And then looking at like Torres, I mean, it just hasn't been his year. And it's so unfortunate because I truly think he's an excellent ball player when he's going right, but he hasn't been going right. So this is a what have you done for me lately league, and not unfairly. It should be like that. I was so pissed when JD Davis batted cleanup, walked Judge 4 times because of the easy out. Yeah, JD Davis is a disgrace to the pinstripe. Like he should not be here. Like I know it's overreaction to say that, but like, dude, he should straight up just not be here. He does not deserve to be here. Feels like there's no one available that would be a difference maker on the offense. Disagree. Brandon Lau is I think he's pretty accessible. Only thing keeping me sane is remember how much of the roller coaster the 2009 season was. Every World Series team has these stretches where they look like shit, So yeah, I'm willing to admit that. Vladdy would love Vladdy not playing for this team though because the Jays aren't moving him. I think a big step in the right direction would be trading Verdugo for some prospect or for a prospect for some bullpen pieces. Yeah, they need to get rid of him and replace him with Dominguez. That swap right there, huge change. That's a huge change. Why does Boone trot up this bum ass lineup sometimes? Better question, why are these bum ass players on this team, right? That's a question worth asking. I love to trade Verdugo, but I doubt it happens. I also doubt it happens. Brandon is low, Lau, like plow or pow. Gotcha. Trade for Brandon Lau. I would love that. Brandon Lau fucking sucks. I hate that motive. Dude, he kills us. What was the tweet? It was like, I think the Talking Yanks tweet was like, the league had a chance to bury us. And it was because when Garrett Cole came back, and we're like 10 and fucking 22 since then. Again, they don't play for the Yankees. It's not their fault. It's just funny. Read your article on the deadline, Ryan. Great job. India would be a huge addition, but Torres would have to go. Yeah, and at that point, like if you're adding a third baseman, a first baseman, a starter, or a reliever, like can you get a second baseman? I don't really know. Talking Yankees is great, so are you. No bashing. Yeah, there's room for great. There's room for great, you know? Can we pretend Aaron Boone? Can we trade Aaron Boone for Alex Cora? I don't really care to I don't think Alex Cora is really a difference maker. Like you guys can like sue me, but like I don't know. I don't think this team's a manager away from finding it. I think they're a lot of things away from finding it. Preferably some good fucking baseball players, right? So, yeah. Look, I'm not going to get into who steals and who doesn't steal content. It's not my role. It's not my place to no, it's not my place. It's not my place. It's not my place. It's beyond panic time. CC steals. Okay. It's beyond panic time, man. You got the green light, buddy. We need Tanner Scott and put Holmes in 7th, 8th spot. I like Holmes on like a multi-inning, like kind of pitch whenever the Yankees need him to. I don't like that he rests like 9 days between pitching. I don't think it's good for him, man. I really don't. I don't think it helps him pitch. I think it makes him inconsistent. So, yeah. Boone versus Core or mid versus slightly better mid, and I'll let anyone choose who's who. I think all managers are kind of like, what do you really do about it, you know? So, yeah. That's how I feel. We'll see. Just heard the Oakland A's close Mason Miller fracture his finger. Yeah, he raged out and he fucked up his finger. Which is objectively crazy. It's fucking nuts, man. It's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. Look, I understand what you're saying that he's good, but he's not a closer. I think he can close out games. It's just like, dude, he hasn't gotten a fucking break, and he also has like the Baltimore outing. Like, I think I get less mad about it when I look back on, not less mad about the game, less mad at him. He walks the two big time dangerous lefties. He gets Henderson out, and then he gets the contact you want against Mountcastle, and he gets the contact you want against Mullins. Just his fucking pitchers didn't make the play. His pitchers didn't do their job. You know what I mean? He does have a negative win probability added, so he's been awful in high leverage. He's blown a lot of important leads for the Yankees. But I mean, I don't know. I still believe Clay Holmes has it. He just it just hasn't gone his way. You know, it just hasn't. It's weird. He's getting barreled more this year. He's missing bats at a higher rate than he did last year. He's a weird pitcher, man. He's strange. No, I think they'll play Dominguez over Verdugo. Do I think they will? I'm putting a lot of fucking faith in this team to say they will. I think it would be an obvious decision that a 5-year-old could make. So we'll see if the Yankees make it. Is that a more fair way to put it, chat? Like, it makes all the sense in the world, but will they fucking do it? I don't fucking know. So yeah, we're just gonna keep kind of scrolling through. Danny, I don't know if it'll have an effect on Soto. I hope it doesn't, but I don't think it will. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm wrong a lot. But you know, I think that Soto will sign wherever the money is, and I think the Yankees, this stretch is like, hey man, you gotta fucking pay this dude because you don't really have much outside of him. Jay should play left field. He's trying to play games. I agree. Donaldson being better than DJ at some at the end of their career shows how washed DJ is. Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. It's a dramatic gap too. It's not like a minor gap. Like we're talking about like a significantly worse baseball player, and it's awful. He has to be benched for sure. Should we get a second baseman? And this is not so fun family vision, my dog. Or are you finally the deadline of Chapman to relievers like Cruz and Pierce Johnson? I want a second bat. I like Chapman, but I don't think Chapman is a tier 1 bat, or like I think he's a tier 2. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong getting a decent hitter, a good hitter, and not a great one. Especially when they provide an excellent defensive value, but I would like more offensive firepower. And I don't think fans would disagree with me on that point. Nor do I think it's outrageous to say. I'm confident in Jazz playing left field as well, center if ever needed, to second base. Yeah, he's versatile, but like at that point, just go get me two infielders, third baseman, and like if we're gonna get a second baseman to replace Glaber, I need a thumper. Like I need a dude who they really put a charge into it. You know what I mean? And I think that's Brandon Lau. Dude, I thought that trade, like I know it sounds like a guy on crack, but I thought that trade would be like fucking special. And I don't think it's crazy. I think that's the part. I don't think it's unrealistic. And I will stand by that. I do not think it's unrealistic. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. I'd rather get Jazz to replace Torres myself at second. Yeah, it's just that like their WRC plus is within 10% of each other. So am I like it's better, but like I'd rather get a third baseman. Fuck it. I'd rather get a really good first baseman. I mean, I'd rather go get if you're going to go get a second baseman, go get Brandon Lowe. Go get Brandon Lowe. That's my thought process. Go for the best. Never settle. I'm not saying I want Jazz second base, but if there's ever a time where someone gets hurt or Jazz. Yeah, like I think having depth in insurance case of Dominguez, it's important, man, because I get it. I don't think it's completely unfair to say, hey, we should all think about banking on a rookie to come up and kind of fill out a position for us. Yeah, man, it's not great. I mean, it is going to be a high percentage because everyone else is making our money, but a lot of the money that people not making money haven't been great. Yeah, I mean, I think they care in the sense of like, I think they do things to appease fans. They weren't going to get a right-handed outfielder. They were always going to get a left-handed outfielder. It was always going to be a left-handed contact hitting outfielder. Why do you think they got Alex Verdugo, right? Wasn't going to be, they weren't going to shift towards hitting for more power. They were going to try to strike out more. They're trying to strike out less, and that's come at the sacrifice of some power. And I think that is part of that is an appeal to fans. I could be wrong. They shouldn't care what we think, Low. They should not, but I do think like Lindsay Adler wrote about it last year. And Lindsay's a good writer. I'm not a good writer. She's a great writer. I don't think it was based in some bullshit. I think there was a legitimate, I do think they care a little bit. You saying Nasty Nate will be moved broke my heart. Yeah, I would love Nate, dude. Nathan Evaldi's a stud. What's up, chat? L.I. Yankee Kid, my dog, my slime. That's my slime right here. Fucking love this guy. Love this man. What a dude. Yankees aren't making any exciting moves. I hope you're wrong. When is Efros coming back? No idea. Cease and Burns were available. Would have strengthened the rotation, but Cashman missed out. I will say this. I would have rather, I was fine trading Spencer Jones for Corbin Burns, but not for Dylan Cease. And I know he just no-hit the Padres. He just no-hit the Nationals, but, he's been a pretty league average starter this year. His ERA minus was 98. He was pretty league average entering that start. I never felt like he was that big of a difference maker. And I still stand by that. He's a better pitcher, I think, now than he was last year, but he's getting bombed. So, I don't think he's a bum in short order or anything like that. But I don't necessarily think I'm not kicking myself for not having Dylan Cease. I'm maybe kicking myself for not having a different hitter or whatever it may be, or maybe not getting Tyler O'Neill instead of getting Alex Verdugo. That hurts a lot more. Need Stan, Birdie, Dominguez, and Efros back. Yeah, they need dudes back. Dylan, he did throw no hitters, Jane. Congrats to him. Will Lou Trevino help this team, or is he basically rehabbing with us this season? He had a setback, so I have no idea when he's going to come back. None at all. Detmers is an SP option. If they wanted to buy low, no problem with it. What do you think of the Garrett Crochet situation? He's not going to be a Yankee, in my opinion. I think he'll be a Dodger. But again, I have all to him, power to him for trying to. He should secure his bag because teams aren't going to look out for him and his money and the postseason when they're fucking pushing him. So, teams, if teams want him to pitch for them, they should Give him money. So yeah. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to like, tell you the season's over. They need to make big moves, but I think they'll make they have to be early dealers this deadline for sure. The thing I'm scared about Jazz, if we get Jazz, he's only, I don't think he's a big enough addition. I agree there. I don't know if he's a big enough addition. Crochet wants money over a ring. Dang, then. Hey man, I would want money over a ring. Not saying money over a ring, but like you can't guarantee you win a World Series. You can guarantee you get $100 million though. And there's one way to do it, and it's by negotiating for it. What's up, D-Train? Think Scooble's better? Oh, for sure. He's the best pitcher in the league, I think. That Crow situation is complicated. Yeah, I get it. I get being a little bit concerned about the innings, but man, he's so good. What happened to Ryan Weber? I have no idea. I think the Yankees released him. Fairbanks overrated, would agree. I'm not gonna, I don't want to, I'm not gonna, like, how do I put this? Just search up Jason Adam and like controversy or something, and I think you'll get an idea as to like, I don't like the guy. I'm not saying, look, I don't like Alex Verdugo and he's here. I don't like Josh Donaldson and he's here. I didn't necessarily love Marcus Stroman and he's here. I'm not going to tell the Yankees, that if they acquire a player a person I don't like, that, they're assholes or whatever, but I understand it's a business. I'm just throwing that out there. I think everyone deserves the context. No to Fairbanks would agree. Trade Torres for prospects of the Braves, and then trade for Chisholm and Scott for the Marlins. Torres to the Braves, he would hit fucking so much there. I don't know if the Yankees are going to move Torres, though, because, right, like, would they want prospects? Would they want somebody could up them now, like a reliever? I think the Braves have a bevy of relievers they could deal from. Maybe they, like, give the Yankees an arm. That helps us, and that helps our bullpen, gives us a little more depth. And then we're able to, trade for a second baseman. We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. Same Yankees, different year. I hope you're wrong, man. I hope this is a different team, different year, that kind of thing. I do not want Ty France. Absolutely not. If the Mariners cut him, that means he's not good. So that video that Sam put out was based on an article I did, Brandon. It was a mock trade. Like I think Jack Flaherty is so cool. He's so dope. He's a really good pitcher, and I would love that pickup for the Yankees a ton. What's your take on going after Brent Rooker? Cannot play left field. Cannot play the position. The Yankees are not going to acquire him. Even though he obviously fucking mashed, dude. France is better than DJ, but you can get better. You can do better. You can always do better. I feel like Boone's not going to play Dominguez much. He'll keep jamming Verdugo down our throat. I mean, if they want to if they want to incite a riot, sure. But I mean, I don't think it's out of the picture that they pull some bullshit like that. Rice in AAA. So Rice has a 105 WRC plus. He's an above average hitter right now, and I think the underlying metrics are good. So I think he'll get it going. We'll see. Dude, Wells has been awesome. Wells, yeah, he's been walking an impressive clip. He's been super impressive lately. He's awesome. Would I trade Rice and Verdugo for a competent first baseman? I mean, like, I wouldn't trade them for Carlos Santana. Like, Rice, I wouldn't trade for Carlos Santana 1-for-1. Trade Verdugo, but they're not doing that deal. Would I trade? And I also think the Twins would necessarily. What would they use Ben Rice for? Like, where is in the infield is it going to open up for them? We'll see. But like, I think if I'm trading Rice, like, I want a legit bat. Like, Rice has some value. Rice has some legitimate major league value. Would you trade for Robert and move Judge to left? If the price was right, sure. I mean, Luis Robert's fucking awesome, but like the price doesn't seem like I don't think the Yankees are matching what the White Sox are going to ask for Robert, and I understand why the White Sox are going to ask for a lot, and I understand why the Yankees are going to offer a ton. So yeah, hot take. Who gives a fuck about a division title if you don't win the World Series? Yeah, as long as they win the World Series, like the division is not they didn't win the division, season's a failure. It's they didn't get to the World Series, season's a failure. Yeah, man, seeing that man Wells every day. That is a bad man at the plate right now. That is a bad, bad man. I mean that in a good way. Yeah, JD Davis is a disgrace to the pinstripes. They should fucking DFA him right now. If the Yankees go into Boston and just mop the Red Sox, yeah, I think they're back. But they had it's kind of like with Baltimore. Like they took 2 or 3 and they still haven't gotten it going. So I think they need pieces. They need deadline upgrades. They need to get better at the deadline. That's what they need to do. Yep, if you have a ticket to the dance, you just need to do what you got to do. God, JD Davis are MVP. You got jokes, bro. You got jokes. Yeah, dude, I can't. Well, you also have to understand, like, you don't want to pitch with a broken hand. Like, it can compensate your mechanics because you're still dealing with pain and all that. So, yeah. Hell yeah. I would fucking do this in a heartbeat. I would trade Alex Verdugo and Jose Siri tomorrow. I know Jose Siri is a great hitter, but he's an excellent defender and he has some pop and like it's cost controlled talent. I'd rather have like, why wouldn't you trade out a worse player for a better player that has more years of control? Your grandparents are fans of the Reds, and India it would be fun to see India in pinstripes. Got his autograph too. That's dope, dude. I hope he would be a sick Yankee. I think he'd be sick. We'll see though. Would you want Lucas Ekrig? I would like Lawrence Butler too. He's probably untradeable. Yeah, they're not trading Butler. But Urkeg, his stuff is good. He kind of got his shit kicked in his last outing, or one of his recent outings. His ERA ballooned, but the stuff is good. The problem is he can't get lefties out. So there are legitimate concerns, but the stuff is wicked, dude. Stuff's wicked. Yeah, I don't think the rest days are important for him. Are good for him. Doval would be dope. I think Doval would be dope. But, you know, are the Giants going to trade low on him? I don't think so. Let me get my shoes. Hey, Ryan, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Closer is actually terrible. Multi-inning relievers are true stars of the bullpen. Luke Weaver, my precious, my glorious king, my beloved. I love Luke Weaver. No, I would not trade Verdugo and Rice for Bellinger. I wouldn't trade Rice for Bellinger. Bellinger, here's the problem with Bellinger. Broken hand, can opt into his contract, will probably opt into his contract because he's not going to get $26 million in the open market. And not really that good. So I'm not making that trade. But Nestor for India, I don't think the Reds would, but I would fucking do that. They need to win the trade deadline for sure. I like Weaver. He got out of that jam with the base load against the Mets was awesome. Luke Weaver's a dog. He's a dog. I will bet. I cannot bet money because I'm not legally allowed to gamble, and like I don't want the FCC or whatever fucking government is involved in like a YouTuber saying he's gonna bet on something and he's like 19. But I can't bet with you. I can't make that bet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't. As well as shooting a couple prospects with Tanner Scott. I would love Tanner Scott. If the Yankees don't get Chas Chisholm, they should pivot to Jazz if they don't get India. Like they shouldn't be pivoting to India if they can't get Jazz. India's the better hitter. Do you think the O's may trade Mountcastle? Thoughts on him? They're not going to trade him here, but he'd be cool. Like he's a good hitter. So yeah. Yanni Diaz or Isak Paredes would be good fits for a postseason run. Yo, dude, they mash. I'd love both of them. So yeah, Matt Chapman, I would love Matt Chapman. What's your confidence level for the Sox series? Getting swept means our season's over, man. Season's over if we don't make the season's over when our season ends. I'm not going to declare the season over at any point during the regular season, although these guys are fucking lost right now. My confidence is like a 5. The Red Sox got their ass kind of handed to them by the Rockies, and they've played like shit since the All-Star break, but they're probably looking at us like a get-right team. Everyone's looking at us like a get-right team, so I don't fucking know, man. Like I don't know, man. What's the realistic date to expect Dominguez back? If he should be playing minor league games in the week, then like I'm speculating, obviously. Very speculatory. Like 2 weeks? 2 weeks? Like does he rehab for a week and then, get the ball going? I don't fucking know. I think that's fine, right? Could be more consistent if he didn't have to pitch on full moons. Yeah, he has to pitch more frequently. I don't like just pitch him more frequently. Just pitch him more frequently. Yeah, that team collapsed twice after the deadline. I know they didn't get anybody, but they look like shit in this, and like their players regressed, and that's not good. So yeah. I think mid-Aug for Martian. I think it'd be a little sooner. I think we could be like second week of August. Maybe that is mid-August though. What's your exact shopping list for the deadline? Okay, so my trade deadline thing, and I'm putting out the video for tomorrow. I did an article. It'll be a video as well for this YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. I had Carlos Santana, Matt Chapman, Jack Flaherty, and then AJ Puk and Anthony Bender. And AJ Puk, Anthony Bender, both from the Marlins, so it was a 2-player trade. Chapman Giants, Flaherty Tigers, Santana Twins, and the full trades will be in that video. You have your choice, Ryan. Matt Chapman or Isak Paredes? Oh, it's Paredes. Paredes is a better player. Paredes is like awesome. Isak Paredes has like a 131 WRC plus. Like that's not really close to me. He's for me. He's a great player. Matt Chapman's a good player. I think Paredes is a great one. Weird to see Brent Rickards or Yankees in fourth spot when Stanton injured. And to get a huge slump right now. Huge. He just can't play left field, so I don't think that's going to happen. Would be a sick deadline. Would objectively be a sick deadline, but I want some more offense. I think he's closing material. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he has to prove that, right? Like maybe he has to prove that again. We'll see. Do you think Warren and Neely are part of the bullpen since day one of next season? I think Warren could either get traded or start games. Like I know that Warren's AAA ERA is pretty, but I also think that Warren's AAA ERA is a bit fugazi. So yeah. And Neely, he could be in the bullpen in day one for sure. Ryan, what's up? What up, Ryan? At work right now. Definitely agree with Santana for Cortez. Makes a lot of sense. The Twins are cleaning up payroll. How much would India cost? It's a good question. India, would I trade? Like, I would trade Spencer Jones for Jonathan India 1-for-1, straight 1-for-1. Nothing else from the Yankees being traded. Maybe I get a reliever from the Reds. I think I would make that trade because you're getting 2 more years of Jonathan India. But it's at Jonathan India's current form. The problem is India just came off of 2 mediocre seasons at the plate, so I don't fucking know what I think it would cost you. It's it would cost you multiple prospects in your top 10. So. Or like Spencer Jones. So yeah. I agree. Sports card. He started pulling some of his more batted balls in the air, which is encouraging. So yeah. I'm excited for him. Starting to think this whole deadline is gonna be a flop, especially after Crochet killed this whole market. No, I disagree. I think guys will still be moved. Keep Holmes on a closer role. I want the versatile role. I want a versatile reliever role. Why would Minnesota trade their first baseman? Jose Miranda can play first. He's on his way back, has a higher OPS plus. Carlos Correa is going to play shortstop. That will move Willie Castro to second base. Obviously, Correa is a better player than Carlos Santana and has guaranteed money. Royce Lewis is on his way back. He's a better player than Carlos Santana, and he makes less money, and he'll play third. So their infield would be Miranda, Castro, Correa, Royce Lewis, first to third. Their DH will most likely be Matt Wallner, and obviously Santana can't play the outfield, and Wallner can't really play the outfield. So they could save money and get a pitcher. They would actually decrease their payroll doing that, and they want to get a starting pitcher, and their owners are they don't want to increase the payroll at all this deadline. So that was my logic. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but felt like it could make sense. It's going to be extremely difficult to re-sign Juan Soto. I don't think he wants to be a part of all these expectations every that comes with being a Yankee. I disagree. He's a grown-ass man. He's not a baby. Where the F is Vivas and his 400 OBP? Why still overlooked? They called him up but didn't play him. So that's on Aaron Boone. That is something where you can blame Aaron Boone for. That is something you can blame Aaron Boone for. Yankees need to sell, not buy. Dismantle this dumpster fire. Disagree. They're in a playoff spot. I think Jason could do what Evan Carter did this year. Last year for the playoffs of the Rangers. I agree. I think he's more than capable of being that good. Let's see what else we got talking about. I want to kind of look at some more stuff. Brandon Montgomery, I think he's awesome, dude. Brandon Montgomery, I'm so mad Boston got him. He's fucking sick. Gleyber rest of the season, Rice rest of the season. I'm not sure it's that big of a gap because Rice does a lot of really good things to plate, but the pedigree of hitters is definitely better for Gleyber. He's not going to opt out. He can opt out. The Yankees can just add the other year. I think they should still. If he opts out, he's not going to opt out. He's not going to get more money on the open market. Especially if he's not good. Like if he opts out and he's not good, the Yankees are gonna teams are gonna lowball him. He's not gonna get a ton of money on the market. He's not gonna get, what is it? Like $150 million over 7 years. I don't think a team's offering him that. They didn't even offer that to Blake Snell. I was a fucking Cy Young winner. So I think that if he's not opting out of that deal, I think he if he has a so-so year, he's not opting on. If he has a so-so year, the Yankees aren't gonna add that extra year. They're not going to let him walk. They're not going to let him. They're not going to. What? A guy has a so-so year decides, hey, you guys better give me another year. They're not going to go, yeah. They're going to go, all right. Go see if you can get more money and then come back to us. Yo, you think Cole's washed? No. So to clarify, I don't even think this situation is going to happen. Salute Ryan. What's good, D-Train? More like wondering if the team would back out. I don't think the team would let Cole walk. Because I don't think the scenario is going to happen. But if we were entertaining it, I don't think that Cole would opt out. So yeah, you think Yankees will get taxed by the sellers since they know they're desperate for help? Everyone's going to get taxed like that. So yeah, that's fair. They may have just more information because of Mendoza kind of knowing him so well. If they look, I just don't. I don't want the I don't want to speculate on whether Cole comes back or not because like I don't know. I had just such a hard time seeing him take the opt out. I really do. I know it's kind of like I know I'm kind of coping maybe, but like I don't know. It's just such a hard time seeing him take that opt out. It really is. Like why opt out when your numbers are regressing? Why risk the money? You have guaranteed money. So yeah. I hope by some miracle they end up with Llewellyn Scott. That'd be a dope deadline. I'm not looking up his WBC stats then. I'm not doing that to myself. I don't think Miller was getting traded anyways. Yeah, I mean Grisham, they're not going to DFA Grisham. That doesn't make Grisham's a fine fourth outfielder. But yeah, I get it. The other guy, like Davis, shouldn't be here. What is your mock trade for India? I just said Spencer Jones for him. That's like what I would do. So yeah, the Reds need outfield. The Yankees and Reds don't really match up well. Reds need outfielders and pitching. Yankees aren't gonna like they don't have their top pitching prospects haven't been performing that well, and they're not gonna sell low on like Henry Lane, nor should they. And their only outfield options are like, right? It's like it's legit like it's legit Spencer Jones. Like, is Everson Pereira necessarily enticing? I don't think so. So yeah. Victor Von Dijk, yeah, his name is cool. He's cool. I would love him. I don't think the Rockies are going to deal him. Is that the best way to answer that? What was his name? I forgot that dude's name. I did. I really did. Jacoby Bellinsbury. I missed that so much. That was such a fun offseason thing. But you guys no trade value? I think Glaber has some trade value, but DJ obviously doesn't have trade value. He also has a no trade clause. So, yeah. Bellinger should be free with that contract. Yeah, but I don't want to take on that contract, and there's a reason. Like, there's a reason to be free with that contract. That's because he's not really worth the contract. Do you think Gleyber Torres' days of the Yankee are over after this year? For sure. Fireside bets above Ryan Garcia's head. I can't gamble, but I can tell you that Fireside bets good at gambling. I actually don't place bets. I swear to God, I don't. They place bets. I don't. I swear to fucking God. They're not realistic. I've lost my mind for sure over this stretch. 100% I've had stretches where during the stretch where I just want to blow my brains out. So, yeah. I just don't see us getting Vladdy. If he leaves the Jays, it won't be an Yankee uniform. I think he'd get traded to like an NL team. I agree. I don't think it'd be an AL team. Yeah, Cabrera's a fine utility bench player. I don't want Chad Green. Absolutely do not want Chad Green. Santana was mid before this season, but like the changes at the plate have been legit, and you also don't have to pay him after this year. So it's not like he's, like, would you trade Nestor for like the possibility that, he's good? He being Santana, that he's good the rest of the year like he's been all year? I think we would. I don't think he'd be moved. I still don't think Vladdy gets traded, but I could be wrong. Crazier shit has happened, and yes, it was Khalil Watson. Rice for Christian Walker. The Diamondbacks aren't trading Christian Walker, and I think I'd make that deal. Austin Wells, Brian McMahon, what's good? Wells McMahon. Dude, I wouldn't trade. Oh, best scenario for the Yankees trade-wise. So let's throw like rationality out the window here. They get Isak Priest and Brandon Lau in the same trade. They get a starting pitcher and they get a reliever. Like that seems to be fucking sick. Could you imagine Isak Priest and Brandon Lau in the same fucking lineup? Oh, it'd be scenes, brothers. It'd be scenes, brothers and sisters. My people. Mi gente. My people. It'd be scenes. Patience. Trades are coming. I believe in patience. I think, no one's... Until top targets go, I'm not going to lose my mind. I don't know, because, like, he hasn't been great this year. So, like, are you going to trade a ton for Camilo Doval in the middle of, like, a bad, like, not great year? No, but, like, look at what Josh Hader... Like, the Brewers got Robert Gasser. They got Esteury Ruiz, and, they ended up trading Ruiz for William Contreras, and William Contreras is sick as fuck. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it would cost. But Doval, he's really regressed this year. It hasn't looked good, and I don't know. I wouldn't trade top market for him right now, but I would love to. Like, I would love a chance to work with him. I'd love a chance for Matt Blake to make it work. I really would. Because, he would be sick. He'd be sick if he fixes it. Yeah, the Red Sox aren't trading Tyler O'Neill here. I don't even think they're trading Tyler O'Neill. I think that report, somebody pointed this out. The report adds in that report, it was just poorly. Some people just grabbed the quote and didn't look at the rest of the context. They are going to have to be blown away with an offer. The Yankees aren't blowing the Red Sox away with a fucking offer for Tyler O'Neill. Is it it's such a seller's market? Yeah, it's because the wild card, like everyone's good. Not everyone's good. Everyone's in it. Everyone's in it. So yeah. Jones for Indian Cruz, I would do that. They traded for JD Davis. He's fucking awful. He's so fucking bad, dude. I think. Okay, so the current version of Anthony Volpe is a good baseball player. I know that's crazy to hear for some people, but he's going to end up like a 3.5 WAR to 4 WAR. That is a good baseball player. A 3 WAR player is a good baseball player. I don't care what anybody tells me. That's a good baseball player. Like you could say, oh well, his WAR is good because of the shortstop position. I mean, yeah, he like was a worse defensive. If he was a less skilled defender and a less talented defender, yeah, he wouldn't play shortstop. So can't knock him for being good at baseball. But yeah, is that great? Is it awesome that like, the Yankees top prospect is like, a good, not great player? Like that's not the best, that's not the greatest outcome of all time, but it's a better outcome. It's a good outcome. Like I know people don't want to hear this either, but a 3.5 WAR player out of your 10 WAR, top 10, top 15 prospect is a good outcome. Like that's a good player. That's a good player. He'd also get better, right? If he's a 100 WRC plus hitter, and he's like, if he's a 100 WRC plus hitter and he's a 100, if he's a 100 WRC plus hitter and he's a great defensive player, like we're talking about an awesome baseball player. We're talking about one who rocks, like that's a player who rocks. That's a cornerstone piece. So, yeah, dude, the Red Sox should keep him forever. He's fucking awesome. Yeah, they need to go all out. Go get whatever it takes. Dude, that tomorrow lineup's going to be so fucking funny. Do the Red Sox have a lefty going? Do they have left-handed pitching? Let's see. Hold on. We're looking. Hold on, folks. The Ryan Garcia ESM scouting machine is working right now. It's Brian Bayo versus Nestor Cortez. That'll be fun. That'll be a lot. It's Road Nestor. Yeah, it's going to be so fucking fun. Not for us, though. Yeah, Cutter kills us. They get Paxton, but I don't know if that's really going to work. Bayo isn't great, but he kind of kills us, so... And Nestor... Road Nestor. Oh, boy. In Fenway. That's not the ballpark you want to have him pitching in. And to Bayo's credit, like, he should be better than his ERA. Like, the underlying metrics are pretty good. He's missing more bats, I think, as of late. Let me double check that. Yeah, he's missing more bats as of late. Is it because of like he's missing more bats? I wonder what he's changed. Throwing. Actually, I have no idea what he's changed. None at all. I don't know what he's changed. I'll look into that. And we get Houck Sunday. We're fucked. We're getting crushed. They got to trade for somebody. Yeah, he's sucking that one start, but like larger sample size kind of guy. Yeah, dude, it could get ugly. It could get ugly. Yeah, O'Neill might kill Nestor Cortez tomorrow. He might murder him. So we'll see. But we're approaching the hour mark. For Bayo, I don't know. I don't think he is. No, not really. Everything's kind of in line. He is starting to throw that 4-seamer again. I wonder if that's a change for him that he can stick with. He's getting strikeouts. He's walking fewer guys, just giving up more home runs. So. Like he's getting hit hard. We'll see. We're hitting the hour mark. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys a lot for tuning in. Probably gonna start wrapping up here. If you have any final questions, get them in. And we'll see how things go this weekend. We'll see how the deadline goes. A few more days till the deadline. I stopped drinking Red Bull, which was basically my PEDs, but I stopped taking Red Bull. I stopped drinking Red Bull. Yeah. I'm a good dude. Don't worry. But yeah, I mean, appreciate you guys a lot. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We have a lot of viewers. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. We're going to be recording. I'm putting out a video tomorrow. It's already scheduled. You guys will get it. You guys are going to love it, I think. I hope. Yeah, I'm going to probably just try to, go cool off a little bit because the Yankees make me irrationally upset all the time. Yeah, Thank you guys so much. You guys know you can like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Check me out at Ryan Garcia ESM. And we'll see you guys next one. Yes, Will Warren, excellent tonight. So, yeah, peace out, everybody. Have a good one.